107.5 WBLS. I promised all day, and I have delivered. DeVon Franklin is in the building, everybody.
Yo.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Every day above the ground is a great day. So
That's
we
right.
got a good day today.
Speaking of good, how's Megan?
She is great. She is resting up. She's in L.A., so it's a couple hours behind. So
I know.
She's getting
Right.
some good rest.
Good. You're not. 'Cause
No,
I heard
I'm
you
here.
all over the place.
We on the grind.
Yes.
Getting it done.
And that's the way to do it. So what we're going to do first is 60 seconds with DeVon. It's a rapid fire interview. All you got to do is answer as quickly as possible.
Okay.
All right?
All
Start the clock. Do good guys finish last?
No, they actually are ahead before the race started.
3 ways to a man's heart.
Through love, through faith, and through support.
1 question a woman should ask during the first date.
What are your intentions and where are you going in life?
1 sign to look for when a man is not interested in you.
Can you find him when he's not looking for you?
What is your deal breaker?
My deal breaker is loyalty, is trust.
Should everyone have a deal breaker?
Without a doubt.
What is your 1 wish?
My 1 wish is love. I wish that we loved more and that we could receive love. I think it would answer a lot of our challenges we're facing right now.
Favorite movie of all time?
My favorite movie? Ooh, this is hard, but I'm going to go
One of
with The
yours.
Color Purple.
Yes!
Come on, you told Harpo to.
All right, biggest lie you ever told?
Oh, wow. Biggest lie I ever told. Oh,
Well,
man.
one of them. Maybe not.
Man, I'm trying to
The
think of the
biggest.
last lie. You might have to come back to me on that one. I'm going to think about the last lie I told.
All right, what song describes you and your life? Now, I want to start off and just ask you, because men and women hear things differently. So I want you to speak to the women first and tell them why the truth about men is something that they need to read.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the truth about men, what men and women need to know, my new book, women have to read this book because most women are dealing with something they don't understand, and that something is men.
Yeah.
And I believe that when you don't understand something, it's impossible to be successful with it. And I think one of the challenges that women have faced is that they don't have the information they need to more successfully navigate their dealings with men. And this is why I wrote this book, to give women the truth. Here's what's going on with men. Here's how that impacts you. And when you know it, you can better navigate and deal with it. Because sometimes men intentionally keep women in the dark
They do.
about their intentions, their motivations. And so even if a man is doing that, this book can be the antidote for women because now they have the manual to help them understand what's going on.
Why can't men be honest with their intentions?
I think because so often it's conditional, meaning that, in the cultures that we're raised in, honesty is not actually valued. A lot of times with men, it's like, no, keep your intentions hidden because you're going to be able to get more. More what? More women, more sex, more power, more money. But what we have done is that conditioning has built a destructiveness into our culture. So when we aren't telling the truth as men, when we are keeping our intentions hidden, not only are we inflicting pain on some of the people we love the most, but we also inflict pain on ourselves. So can we tell the truth? Is it within our capacity? Yes. But we have to get to a place where we practice telling the truth.
Right.
And that becomes more practice than we currently is now.
Well, and I also think that if men can't tell the truth, then women have to hold them accountable, and then they have to step away.
Well,
because
yes.
sometimes men learn through pain.
Yeah. And I talk about that in the book. And I think that one thing that's really important, every man has the capacity to tell the truth and live in honesty.
Right.
We as men have to make the choice and become accountable and responsible for that choice. However, to the point you just made, which is in the book, I talk about it in the book.
Okay.
One of the most convicting things a woman may need to do with a man that is unwilling to change is to allow that man to experience the pain of her absence.
That's right.
There is some work that cannot be done when you're
When
right
you're
up
there.
against it.
That's right.
And some men will sometimes not do their work because they know she's always going to be there.
Yep.
And that she's always not going to just, not only just support, but be a codependent in him not doing his work.
Right.
So sometimes a woman has to say, you know what? I love you so much, I got to step away.
Right.
And usually, if that man really loves that woman, her absence will convict him to such a degree, he will ask the question,
Right.
what must I do to change?
And if it doesn't, then he's just saved you some time.
Absolutely.
And some tears.
Absolutely. As
and things
difficult
of
as that is.
Yeah,
as difficult as that is.
to
And there's a
hear.
difference between taking an absence and abandonment. All men need help. and we
Right.
need support.
Right.
But a man has to be willing to accept that help and support.
Right.
And just because a woman leaves, it doesn't mean she's abandoning the man.
Right.
There's a difference between saying, hey, I don't want to deal with you versus I've been trying to deal with you, but you don't want to deal with yourself.
That's right.
Very, very important to make that distinction.
Now, talk to the men. Why The Truth About Men is a must-read for them.
Oh, my brothers, this book is a must read. The Truth About Men is a must read for men because as men, we all struggle. And a lot of times we get so overwhelmed by the struggle because we don't know how to communicate that we're actually even struggling. Because most men, we're taught that it's weak to admit that we're weak.
Right.
So this book is the manual, step by step. Here's how we as men can become the men we were created to be.
Right.
Here's how we can be honest. Here's how we can be transparent. Here's how we can heal from our brokenness. Here's how we can actually master this thing within us that wants us to do wrong. Here's how we can learn to love. This book teaches all of these things. And I do it from a standpoint, I'm not preaching to anybody. I'm saying, hey, as a man, here are my struggles. And I'm very open and honest about that in the book because I can't encourage others to tell the truth and be transparent if I'm not doing the same thing. Right. So this book for men, I believe, is going to be the difference maker.
And what's amazing to me is that you have an acceptance prayer
Yes.
for men. On page 87, y'all, pick up the book. It says, Dear God, help me right now deal with the pain and guilt I feel over the things I've done. I've done things I'm not proud of, things that make me feel guilty and ashamed. And it goes on. I'm not going to read the whole thing so that, you'll go get the book so that you can get the acceptance prayer. Is that something that you've said to yourself over the course
absolutely.
of your
Absolutely.
past relationships and things?
1,000%. Megan and I have been married for 7 years.
Right.
But prior to getting married, I definitely dated. And, there were some times that I dated and I didn't date well. Even though I was waiting, I didn't necessarily always date with good intention. Sometimes I had selfish intention, whereas I wanted to date this woman for what I wanted, not always concerned for her. And after so much time and realizing that my dating choices, I inflicted a lot of pain, I had to reconcile that pain, and I had to reconcile the guilt and the shame that I felt because of it. And so I wrote that prayer from a standpoint of, as men, there's some things we got to accept. We no longer can excuse our behavior just because of our gender. There's a lot of times even well-intentioned men do things that we don't want to do.
That's right.
And we still have to practice acceptance because if I don't accept something, I never allow myself to challenge it and change it. Anything I don't accept, I can't actually change. So part of changing the behavior is to say, I've done some things I'm not proud of, and I need God to help me with that.
Right.
And not only do I need God to help me with it, but I'm praying, Lord, that I can accept even the ugly parts of who I am and still move forward to the very best things that are still ahead of me.
You talk about men are not dogs, but every man has the dog in him.
Yes.
And you talk about mastering the dog.
That's right.
Now, please make it clear that you're not talking about let the woman be the master.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No,
Because
no.
some people will get that a
Oh,
little
no,
confused. So
no.
explain what mastering the
Great,
dog is.
thank you. Yeah, so here's the idea. Every man has the same struggle, and that struggle is lust. Lust is a selfish impulse for personal, professional, financial gain by any means necessary, even if those means are detrimental. I use the metaphor of the dog to articulate lust. So in the book, I call lust the dog.
Okay.
The dog is selfish.
Yep.
In the book, I call love the master. So every man has lust in them, but they also have love in them. Love of themselves, love of God, love of the woman in their life, love of community, love of family. Love is selfless. Lust is selfish. So in order to master the dog, we have to put love in control of lust. We have to put selflessness in control of selfishness. So I use this metaphor of dog training and dog mastering to help us understand how we as men can master this lust. And let me tell you, when men give themselves over to lust, they can operate like an untrained dog.
That's right.
An untrained dog, no matter how cute it is, it'll tear up your
Mess
living
it up.
room.
That's
It'll
right.
pee on your
Yeah.
couch.
Right.
It'll be destructive. And so that's how lust can operate in men. It can be very, very destructive until we as men make the decision to master it. Now, here's the key. A woman cannot even help a man master his dog unless that man is willing to bring her into the process.
Right.
So important, because I've seen so many women who come to me and they're trying to do the work for the man, or they're trying to mandate that he does the work. Every man has to make the decision, I want to be a better man. Now, in order to be a better man, you do need the love of a woman. So it's so important that the two work together, but a woman can't do a work that is only designed for a man to do.
Right. And a woman can't do the work if the man is not into her either.
She can't. That's so true. That's right.
There's no potion that you can give. There's nothing that you can do. If a man is just not into you,
Yes.
he's not into you, and you can't make him.
No.
You can't
And
wait. You can't wait it out. You can't.
You can't wait it out. You can't give it out. You can't sex him to a place
There you
where
go.
of where he will.
Right.
And this is why I talk about in the book for women. You got to get out of the gray area. What is the gray area? It's an area where you are most vulnerable, where you don't really know what's going on in the relationship.
Yep.
You aren't sure what his intentions are. You aren't sure what his motivations are. You're spending time with him. You're texting with him. You go out on dates, but you don't even know where you stand. You got to get out of the gray area.
Right.
The dog likes to hide in
And that
shadows.
goes back to what you were saying about what's one of the questions you should ask.
That's right.
On the first date.
That's right.
What are your intentions?
Where are you going?
That's right.
Absolutely. So because I got to make the decision. Do I want to go where you're going? You know, it's like whenever we call Uber or Lyft, we put in the destination.
Right.
If you get into a car,
You better preach.
come on now.
Ha!
If you get into a car that's not going to your destination, what do? You get out.
Yes.
But when it comes to relationships, sometimes
You
we go where they're
stay.
driving, not where we want to
Right,
go.
exactly.
So part of the relationship is identifying, are we going in the same place? Okay, if we're not, I love you, but I'm going to go find somebody that's going where I want to go.
Right. And I love the fact that the book has a checklist for men. Are you acting like a dog?
That's right.
And for women, are you dealing with a dog?
That's
so
right.
it's really clear.
Yes.
On if these are if you go down the checklist and what you can check
Oh yeah,
several of them.
Yes, if you pretty
then
much
you
if you
know.
answer one,
Right.
right. If you're a man, if you answer one, then you know you got to get that dog in check.
Right.
And for women, it really helps because this is why I'm so excited about this book, because it helps women decipher the code to men,
Right.
so they can know. Oh, I'm dealing with the man who's leading with the master. Great. Or I'm dealing with the man who actually leading with the dog. So I'll give you a quick anecdote. So I gave away 500 early copies. And so a young woman got the book early. She read the book, and she went on to my Facebook group, the Truth Group, and she posted this dating testimony. She said that she read the first 3 chapters, and on the first date, the man that she went out with was praying with her. And she said, oh, I'm dealing with the master. This is great. By the 3rd date, he was trying to get in her pants. And so she said, oh, I get it. So he wanted me to think that he was the master, but really he was leading with the dog.
That's right.
And she said that normally she would have got upset. She would have got really mad. But she said because she had this information, she didn't even lose her cool. She just realized this was not the man for her at that time.
Right.
And she was able to move on. And so this is why this information is so important.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm so excited to get this to everybody.
Now, one of the points in the book I was wondering about, because when you say find a sponsor, and that it's for the man to find, I guess, another buddy or somebody that he
Yes.
can talk to. Now, men listening, I think they'll say, get a man sponsor. A man may laugh at me for talking about leading with the dog or
Sure.
leading with, the master. So how do you speak to those men who may want to do this and want to get a sponsor, but feel they may get ridiculed?
Yes. So I talk
because of
about
it?
sponsorship as just one idea. So there's a
Right.
whole chapter I devote to that's called Create a Safe Space.
Right.
Whereas we as men need a safe space to talk. And I don't mean a physical space. I mean we need at least one other person that we can be honest and transparent with. And sometimes you do need a sponsor that can help you do that. Other times it can be a great friend. Other times it can be the woman in your life. Other times it can be a pastor. It can be a counselor. You got to have somebody to talk to. So I would say to any man that feels that they can't share their problems with other men, find the right man you can talk to. Right? Or
Who leads with the master?
who leads with the master.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or if you're in a relationship or you're married, one of the safest spaces can be with your spouse or your significant other. But here is what is so important, and to any woman listening to me. If you're in a relationship or in a marriage with a man and your man is trying to be vulnerable and tell you the truth,
Right.
if you cannot handle it, don't say anything. Just take it in. Because the moment you judge that man and you make that man feel less than for telling the truth, and he opens up to you and you shut him down, it may be the last time he ever opens up to you again. Because as men, when we open up, it's hard. We don't like being vulnerable. So a lot of times women say they want the truth, but then when the man delivers the truth, they don't know how to
can't
handle it. They
handle
get
it.
mad at the truth.
Right.
So
Right.
it's so important as men to have a safe space. And finding a sponsor is one part of a safe space, but not
there's
the
several
only
others.
thing. There's other
in
ways
there.
to do that.
Right. I'm so glad you spoke to the women, but at the end of my show, I share a sisterly kiss, which is a progressive thought for the day. You're speaking to somebody's spirit. How about today I'm going to allow you to do, I guess, the brotherly hug.
Yeah.
Where you can speak into the lives of those struggling with acting like a dog
Yes.
and those who are dealing with the dog.
Sure. To my brothers, this is a hug from DeVon to you. I want you to know that I don't want you to feel hopeless or overwhelmed. When lust, this desire for sex, money, power, fame, success, when it overpowers our life and we want to become better, we don't always know how to become better. So a lot of us are overwhelmed. A lot of us are struggling in silence. I want you to know that there is hope, that you can become better, and you can get to a place where you can allow the love in you, the love you have for yourself, for God, for your family, for your community, to be stronger than the lust that may be currently running and potentially ruining your life. The first step is to accept that there's something in you. The second step is to say, you know what? I'm not going to let this thing master me. I am going to master it. The third thing is to put yourself in a process daily where you work on discipline. Discipline is the foundation for success, and I define success as peace. And the last thing I would say is that don't beat yourself up. We all fail. We all fall short of the glory of God. The Bible says a just man, falls, at least 7 times. So do me a favor. Even if you are falling, I want you to get up, put your back up, put your shoulders straight, look ahead, and keep moving ahead. Be accountable for your behavior. Be responsible for your actions. Apologize to who you need to apologize to, and know that better days are yet ahead when you make the decision to become the master.
Wow. We've tried to squeeze as much as we can into this little bit of time we have with DeVon Franklin. But if you want more,
yes,
there's more to be had.
That's right.
And that is tonight at 6 o'clock, Barnes & Noble.
Yes, Barnes & Noble and Tribeca. I'm going to be doing a talk and signing books. The talk is going to be facilitated, and the Q&A is going to be facilitated by Joy Marie, who's one of the editors at Essence.
Yes.
And come out tonight. I'll sign your book. We'll talk. We'll take pictures. This thing is a movement. If you just go on social media, you'll see that this truth thing is spreading all around the country, and I'm so excited to be here in New York.
Tell us how we can follow you and find out about it on social media.
Yeah, you can follow me on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at DeVon Franklin. Come follow me, and I put out a lot of information, a lot of advice, a lot of tips, tools, a lot of prayers, just to keep you motivated, inspired, and informed.
There you go. Please give our love to Megan.
I will.
I know she's got a new movie coming out.
Yeah, The Intruder with Michael Ealy. It comes out the first weekend in May. Michael Ealy and Dennis Quaid. Michael Ealy and Megan are married, and Dennis Quaid sells them a house, but there is a twist that the house came with a lot of attachments they didn't know about.
Right.
And let me tell you, it's a thriller. It'll scare you. There are some tense moments. Y'all got to see The Intruder.
Wow.
It's very powerful.
Did you give Michael Ealy a copy of the book?
No, I didn't give Michael Ealy a copy of the book. Michael does a great job. I know him. He's a good brother. He's doing his work.
Good. All right.
He's a master.
There you go. He's leading with the master.
There we go.
Thank you so much for sharing your space with us today.
You got it.
DeVon Franklin, everybody.